So first I will explain what the thing that I'm going to do here. So you can ask me the questions once I got hold. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. So I just created a project. So to create a project, so we need to open the Visual Studio, and we need to take the option for a file and new and create a project. Okay. So once you go
Okay.
here and you need to search for the Xamarin Forms.
Yes, sir.
So if you select it, so it will come to here. So you can cross check what the template that you have selected is here. So in the
Yes,
mobile
sir.
app, Xamarin Forms. Okay, so the Xamarin
Okay.
Forms under C#. So once you will write a code in a one place, and you can deploy Android, iOS, and Windows. So this is
Yes, sir.
the template that we have for creating a project.
Okay. Okay, sir. Got it. Then,
So this configure your new project. So when you are starting your project in a Xamarin Forms, by selecting the template from the list, so you will have this phase or this window. So this window is describing what project that you are going to do. So by naming of this, so you can decide what is the project name that you are going to do, where you want to store your project's code, and also the solution that you want to create. So and the solution name also you can describe what you want, and you can also directly post this in a git. Okay, so when you click this uh, check, check mark, so it will sync with uh, git uh, whatever the git credentials that you have logged in with this Visual Studio, so it will sync with that. Okay, so I'm just going to back because I have already created a project. Okay, so now, so I have created a project. So once you will create all the project flow, so it will look like this. Okay, so let me tell you a few things here, mainly. So the solution have a number of projects. So that means like Kavyas.android, Kavyas.ios. So currently I'm not using the Mac, so that's the reason I'm unloading my Kavyas.ios. Due to this, I can perform well when I'm writing the code in a Windows. So now let's discuss about where we need to write a code in a Xamarin Forms. Okay, so by saying the Xamarin Forms, it's a hybrid version. So when you write a code using XML and C#, so you can deploy into iOS and Android. iOS and Android. So the place that you need to write for a Xamarin code is the Kavyas. So when you are creating a project, by default, these three projects will create it. So by seeing the C#, okay, this is the project that you need to write a code once, and you need to deploy the code into Android and iOS. So the Kavyas is the place we will call it as a code project, or it will call it as a .NET standards. So by seeing the dependencies, packages, .NET standard library. So this is the library will help you out once you will write a code in XML and C#. So it will execute with this DLL, and it will by using these classes will create our Xamarin Forms code. Okay, so let's see the folders that we have in a by default in a Kavyas, that is .NET standard folder. Okay, so the dependencies is one place where you will see whatever the DLLs. So DLL are the one already executed files where you can reuse the other code who has provided as a public. We will call it their codes as a open source. So as per the developer, Xamarin developer will call it as a NuGet packages. So NuGet packages are the one who has already the people has created some code where we can reuse in our local projects. So once you will have downloaded a NuGet package, so it will placed here as a packages. So by default, when you are creating a Xamarin Forms, so we have these three are default. So .NET Standard Store Library, Xamarin.Essentials, Xamarin Forms. So by using this TLL only, you can write a code in using a Xamarin SDK. and the .NET standards are the one where you can interact with your .NET core. The Xamarin Essentials are the one DLL is created by the Microsoft. So some common places that they have optimized your code to directly call the class and you can use the result. Let's say if you want to write a code for your application is in the internet or not, so by calling a one class from this DLL, so you can check it by writing a line of code in your code. Okay, this is the one. So the app.xml. So if you want to create a screen in a mobile, you should have a file. So if you want to decide a screen, or if you want to create a screen in a mobile application using a Xamarin Forms, we need to create a file. So how we need to create a file? We need to right click on the project, add new item, and select the content page. So this is the page template that we are going to create as a file, and it will reflect as a mobile screen. So let's say I'm telling this as a login page. It will take some time. Okay, so now so now the app.xml is the one file. It consists of two phases. One is the design phase, another one is the a page where you can write the C# to interact with your design. So we can come to know by seeing this file. So if you have a file.xml, file name.xml, so that considered as a design part. So the design of your screen will look like this. If you want to see the code behind of this design is it look like this. Okay, let me go on in a c.xml.cs file of app. So we'll consider this. So by saying this, we can come to know it's a simple class in a C#. So, but it has extended with the application. So this is the application class is from the Xamarin Forms. So we are extending the Xamarin Form class into our local class. So here our local class is the app. So if you extend the Xamarin class, it is a child class of your Xamarin class. So in a C#, the main method is the one entry point for all the classes in your C#. So same thing. So if you want to interact, or if you want to see the starting flow of your Xamarin Form app from this class only. So here we will discuss what are the methods that are defaultly created. Okay, so you can see so it's a simple file which extended with the .cs. This means so you can write a class inside of this file. So in a C#, the namespace is the one. It will start with your classes. So a namespace have a number of classes. A class in this namespace is the Kavyas. The class is app. So in this class, we have a few functions. So one is the app, on start, on sleep, on resume. Okay. So what is the app? So if a function which is not having a written type and the name of the method is same as a class name, so that it call it as a constructor. A constructor is the one function where it will call when your class is loaded into your memory. So the first thing is called in a class is a constructor to initialize your values or variables. Okay, so now we'll discuss what are the things we have found in the constructor. So the line number initialization component. So this is the one. So this is the this is a method internally. It will initialize all your XML file of this file. So I have told you, right, if you have created a page or if you have created a file in a Xamarin Forms, is it have two files. One is the .xml and another one is the .xml.cs. So whatever the constructor of the CS, it start with your .xml means. So whenever your .cs file is executing, your constructor also executing. The first statement of your constructor is the place initialize components. The components are the one of this app.xml. So this app.xml things will initialize in your C#. Okay, so once your class is loaded, your XML files data or references are also initialized or created in a memory by state this statement. So once your XML files, XML controls has initialized using this constructor, when your app is created, then it will come to the next line as main page. A main page is the nothing but the page which is showing at a first time when you are open your application in your mobile from your mobile screen. So means, so by whatever the instance that you have created here, so that is the page it will call at first time in your mobile. So we'll call it as a name new navigation page, and I want to invoke, or I want to show a page as a login to my application. When you are open application or you have selected an icon, app icon from the mobile's home screen, is new login page. So once app.xml.cs file has executed using this class, and whatever the components of this file will initialized, immediately it will come to which screen that I want to invoke in the next. So in my case, it's a login page. Means when I open the application through my mobile application home screen, so the login screen is the first screen it will show all the time. Okay. Okay. Now I'm running my application. So let's see how it looks. So now I just run my application and it stopped here, see, and it is showing the empty screen because it is not initialized at this app components. So means the XML file of the app. So let's, I'm just going, just dismiss this, hiding this meeting controls. Oops. Now let me run one more time. So when I run this, so it got show because so this is the login page that I have created. So, and also let's see the page that opened is login page or not. Let me show you this magic of hot reload in Xamarin Forms. It's a login page. it's a login page. So by seeing that, when I'm open this every time, so it will look like a I'm whatever the class that I have mentioned to my main page, it is reflecting here. And also the first page of my application is the login page. Okay, so let's design our login page, and let's talk about what are the components that we have here. So I will tell you very basic things that first, then we'll go for the deeper. Okay, so in a XML file is used to design your uh, screen, we can call it in Xamarin Forms, so using a XML language. Okay, so the first tag is the content page. The content page is the one page, it will show a single object. So in one screen or one page, I want to show a independent of components, so I can show it. Okay, so that's the all about the content page. In a content page, you have a few things. Let's say I want to add a background color to my whole page. I can do it. And let's say I'm just going for the green first, so it will apply. So so it applied to this screen. And have you seen this toolbar by default? So I don't want this, I can also disable it by navigation. By the property is navigation page has navigation bar false. See, it's got disabled. Okay, let me design a thing here. Okay, so before starting a design, we'll need to talk about few tags that we have seen here. Okay, the content page dot content. So whatever the page controls that you are adding to this screen or in this content page will add inside of these tags only. Okay, so as for now, we have a stack layout is the one tag that we are able to see here. A stack layout is a layout where you can arrange your views in vertically and horizontally by specifying your orientation property to your stack layout. What it means? Okay, so a stack layout having the ability to arrange your views inside of the stack layout based on your orientation. Let's say have a vertical orientation, how it looks. So let me duplicate this label control. So see, you're able to see that. Let me increase the font of this. I can say it's 20 pixels, and let's say have a text color as well. I can decide what is the text color of it. I'm making it a white. So we can also use this to do this as well. See, so we can arrange these things into horizontally, sorry, vertically based on your orientation. So if you change the orientation to horizontal, it sit beside of each other. So like this, we can arrange your views inside of this stack layout based on your orientation. So now I can go with the vertical. I want to place each things in top to bottom. Okay. So now we'll design this. Okay, I'm just deleting this. I don't want this. Okay. So now in login page, every login page you will found few things. One is username, another one is a password, another one is a button, and also a text where it will define if you have a forgot password, so it will navigate to that page. And if you have a login page or sign up page, so it will ask you to create your account if you do not have in this application. So let's create these fields in Xamarin Forms using a XML language. So for asking a inputs to user, so we'll use a entry control in a Xamarin Forms. So a entry control is ability to take the input from the user. Let's say I want to ask him enter your email. So if you do this, if you go here and so by seeing this entry email, so I can enter my email @gmail.com. So like this, the placeholder property describe that. So what exactly that entry or what exactly inputs that you want from this field. Okay, and let me add some space. Okay, so now we can also give a placeholder color as a white. Yes, now you can also duplicate this and ask him to password. And once he is entered the password, and also we need to decide what is the text color of this field as well. Okay, I can also say it as a white. Text color as a white. Okay, so now if you enter into this, so it look like a white color. Okay, white text that you have entered. But fortunately, whatever the password that you want to hide is, we have a property called is password true. See, whatever you have entered, it become a dots. Okay, so now we can also decide what type of a keyboard want to populate here. So in this case, I need a Gmail type keyboard. So if you focus to here, so it will look, so it will, the keyboard which have a Gmail comfortable thing, it will populate. Okay, so these are the things that we can concentrate on these two. Let's go here and ask, we'll add a button to login. Next, login, we'll call it as a login. And text color should be black, and I want to make background color of this is a white, and I want to give some space from bottom to top. That's it. Now you can see we have an option called login with these fields. Now let's say I do not have an account, then where I need to ask the user. So we need to add one more stack layout, and we'll add a label called sign in, and the text color of this, it's white, and we'll add some background color to this as a white, and we'll make it text color as a black. And let's see, so if I want add a forgot password, and if you have a orientation as a horizontal, so it will sit beside of each other, and I want to make this forgot password to the right of my screen. So what I need to do, I have a property called horizontal option, and okay, and I want to give some padding to this both so that the user can easily click on it. And let's have a 5, and let's have for this as well. Now we can easily access of each other, and I want to make this in center of my screen. So I want to ask my stack layout, hey stack layout, can you make vertical option as a center and expand? Okay, so like this it looks. So so we can also say a label, it's a login screen by adding a label in the top. So login page, sorry, and we'll make it text color as a white. Font size should have some more as a header. Oops. We can reduce header to a small, another property, medium. No, it's not good. Just it's better than previous. And also we'll have some margin to bottom. Margin means it will add a space outer of your control. So I have a 0 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0. So I can decide. So if I give a value to this place, it will add left of my control. If I add here the second place, it will add top of my control. If I add any value to the third place, it will add right of my control. If I add some value to last value, that is a fourth, so it will add bottom of to my control. Let's see how the time. See, if I add this here, so it will add the bottom 15 pixels. Okay, so if I add here, it add 30 pixel to left of my control. So if I want to add both sides or four sides as a single value, I can also do like this. So it will take as a four sides, like here also 30 pixels, here also 30 pixels, here also 30 pixels, here also 30 pixels. Okay, so I don't want like this. I need only in the bottom, means I want the queue like this. So it look added the 30 pixels to bottom of my entry. So now we'll add actions to this screen. Actions in nothing but if I click some login page, I need to take this email and password values to my C# code, and we need to validate and we need to show some user-friendly messages if it is entered wrong. For that, we need an identifier to identify each control values. So for that, we have a xname. Xname is the property where it will add a tag or a alias name for your control. So I'm giving a name to my email control as a ent email. For my password, ent password. For my button, unknown name, because I can add a event for when I'm clicked on this. So I just want to create my event. When I clicked, one method will invoke. In that method, I will call this identifiers and I will take whatever the user entered in these fields. So let's say I'm calling it as a login validation. So if you click F12, it will directly navigate to, sorry, it will navigate to your C# code for this login page and it will create the login validation call. So now we need to write a method void or a public or private boolean is user valid. So by passing two values as a string, one is email string dot a password. Now I want to check if given email string dot is empty or null. Email, so I want to display a message such a way that alert, a display alert. Display alert is a method from the Xamarin Forms where it will show a dialog to your application. The first one is it will describe the title. And the next one is the message that you want to show. Enter your email. And you can dismiss by clicking OK. And we need to return, once it is shown, we need to return a false because he has not entered anything, so it's not valid. Else if a string dot is empty or null password, so I want to copy this password, enter your password. In this case also password got empty. So in future it's valid or not, at least we need to enter something, right? So we can enter here true because it has entered some value. Now we'll take this here. So take a local values and email password. So in email I can call that it's name of my entry and ask to take the text of that entry. First to enter here, then I pass this email and password to this, and I can check it here. I'm adding a value here. You have entered following email. You have entered following password. So let's run this and we'll check it. And before this, we need to check. Could not be null. Okay, let me run this application. I am disabling this. I'm continuing with this my application. Okay, so let's see if I click the login. So I have not entered. That's the reason it's asking me enter your email. I'm going to enter my email. So let's try again. So I have not entered my password. So that's the reason it is showing enter your some password. So I'm entering wrong password. See, you have entered the following email and you have entered the following password. Okay, this is the way that we need to interact your screen and your C# code. And let's say we have a test one more thing. So if you have not entered anything and you have entered a white space, how it will behave, let's see. See, it will also check. It is not checked your empty screen. So we need to validate this flow as well. So we have to check empty one as well. This is the one that we need to validate the things, and we'll work on the forgot password. Now I'm just going when I'm not validating anything, and when I'm clicking on the login button, I'm navigating to the home screen. Then we'll decide the what is home screen that we are going to create. Okay, I'm just commenting this part, and I'm just closing this. So now I want to navigate one page to another page, or one screen to another screen. How could I do? So we have a class called navigation. Navigation, you have a push async new. You can decide for the screen that you want to go. So before that, I want to create a file. So I'm just telling you what file that I'm going to do by naming here. So I want to create a home screen of this page. So I want to add a file in my Xamarin Forms. I need to right click on my .NET Standard project, take the add option, new item. I need my home page as a single object to view, so that I'm going for a content page as well. And I want to create it as a home screen, home page. Now, now I have a home screen here. So if I go here, it's simple class. It got extended with the content page. The content page is the one of the page from the Xamarin Forms library, or DLL, you can call it as. Let's see what we are going to do here. A home page. So I want to disable my default navigations. As selecting the hash navigation bar as a false, and I want to give my background color as a green that I have given for same to login page. Now I'm going to take a grid view here. Okay, let me discuss few things about the grid. Okay, it's a grid is also one of the view. So same like a stack layout, but there is a difference between the stack and grid layout. A stack layout is take help of orientation value, but the grid will take help of column definition and row definition. Means if you want to arrange a view using a grid on your mobile screen, you need to decide what are rows and columns of your screen. Let's say I want to create a screen like this. Stopping my sharing again, whiteboard. So here in a home screen, I want to decide the design as such like this. So this is a page. This is a page. So in topmost, I need a button here, and I want to view a list of items like this. I will have a list of items here, and so on and so on. And when I click this button, it will go to profile pic of your page. profile information. Okay, this is the profile information, and this is the list of items that you have in this application. Okay, so let's do this. I'm just clearing my drawing. Just stopping my. I'm sharing my again my screen, and we'll go to this. And as per our requirement, I need to decide how many rows and how many columns. So in the topmost, I need some space to create icon where I can navigate to the profile screen, and the remaining part of my screen is list of items. So in this case, a box is divided into two parts, means two rows and two columns, means 2 by 2 matrix. So how I need to define my rows and columns in a grid. Row definition, using the row definition call grid dot, row definition. So I'm just making auto definition, column definition, auto. I will tell you what are this auto and the once I created the view. So in my first phase, I need to take a stack layout where it has an orientation called horizontal, or without orientation also I can do it using image view, image, and I'm specifying this as a grid row 0, column 0. I think we need to queue a row as 0 and column as 2, because it should be available in the right of my screen. And I'm going for the list of the things. In a Xamarin Forms, if you want to bind a collection of data to your view, we need to use a collection view. Collection view, we have a view where the collection view dot item source data template, template, data template, to decide it as static. Orientation of this is so here we have a label where it will describe the item title. Another one, item description. These are the two things that we are described using this collection. So I need to decide what row column that I want to place it. In my case, it will go to the row 1, row span 2, column span 2. And if I want to add some data to, let's say, if I want to add a particular image to display on my screen, so I need to browse that. So we have a icon finders site, free icons we can get from here. In my case, I just want to filter file. So I'm going for the first one. So I can decide what is the size of my PNG. So I'm going for 20 pixels, 24 pixels. So I'm just going to copy this. Just copy this. Go to the Visual Studio, open the source, add this in a drawable folder of your Android project, paste it, and rename this as a profile. Now we can use it as a source. And now we need to add some data to show in a list. For that, I need a C#. I mean, like I need this identifier in my C# code or place homepage.xml.cs file. So list of copies. Okay, I'm just going to use this identifier in a login page.xml. Sorry, homepage.xml.cs file. Now I just add a method here. Okay, so this method will create a dummy or a list of data that will be get from the internet or from the local. Okay, so it's a public method and it will give a list of object, obvious object model. We can say it get a list of obvious. Now I'm going to add a model here. It's simple a C# class. Now I'm making this model as a public and I'm saying this as a some properties. It's a string type and it's a caveat title. It's a title. Duplicating this title description. And I want to add one more. Obvious URL. Now you can go to C# code and you can prepare a object. Now I want to add a dummy data var a list data equals to new list of caviars, and I want to create a model for each, or I can add like this as well. Now I can simply say it's a title one. I'm just duplicating a few things. And I'm going to return a list of the, then if you go and use this as item source of your caviars dot item source of your collection view, I'm going to assign a git caviars. So what it means, like, so you have prepared a list of caviar model, and you are going to display them as a list of on your screen based on your view which is supported to accept a list of data. That means collection view. A collection view is the view where it will accept a dynamic data that created by internet, and it will fetch your application, it will display on your screen. The collection will having the ability to add a list of data in your screen even though your screen is exceed to show all the items, and it will add a scroll, dynamic scroll, where it will scroll down, it will see the remaining items that you have added in the internet or local in a dynamically. Okay, let's run it and we'll see how it looks. Now we'll enter some data here. You can go to the log. So if you see here, okay, I think column definition. I can do this without row definition, I guess. Okay, request we can adjust here. Height request can 30 pixels, and we can make it as horizontal option as a right stop end, and we'll give it some a margin. So it should, and we'll give a background color as a white. Now we'll run again. Something wrong. See if you are able to see here. Okay, let me add some background color to my layout. And I want to give some margin. Okay, I have not binded, that's the reason it is not showing this. What do I need to bind using these properties? Run again. Okay, I have not entered any values to here. So this reason it is showing empty. So we can say okay, so you're able to see here, right? So the data that I have entered here, it is got binded to my collection. So this is a very sample application. I'm just introducing you to Xamarin by placing some dummy data or some stack layout, introducing some stack layout and grid and the content page will have a detailed session in the next video.